Hi everybody doing? Welcome back to the channel. So today I'm doing a comparison. Y'all probably saw me with the Stretchsense Pro Fidelity gloves, and now I've been messing around with the studio gloves, the Stretchsense studio gloves. And here is just a comparison of since I've had these gloves and how they feel, how much the price point, what is it one better than the other? Is it something that you need to look into? Just kind of going through just a quick little overview. I don't know how quick it's going to be, but I just want to kind of give my comparison, my thoughts, and if you need to look into something like this. All right, so let's start into this. First off, price points. Let's get right into the price, because when it comes to gloves, we know that sometimes, like, damn, the price of these motherfuckers. I ain't trying to curse, but you understand what I'm saying. Us independent creators, we want to really get out there and try to make sure that we have something affordable that gets it done, that we can be able to have quick turnarounds that work in our workflow, in our pipeline. So I talked to you last time about the Pro Fidelity gloves and those price points right there, $6,995 or $7,000. We said it again, 7,000. So damn, right? We know that the price point is high. It's not high if you're a studio that you can afford this and you know for what they do, it's going to definitely get the job done. And if you want something, you know what I mean, the best of the best, that is the best of the best. So I definitely say if you can't afford them, go in there and make that happen. For the rest of us, though, Stretchsense been listening, so they made the studio gloves. These gloves are $795. That's like awesome. You basically can get some hand tracking data and animations for under $1,000. Now, some of y'all probably looking at this is probably not really familiar with animations. You're probably thinking $800 is something, right? I'm telling you, it's not. If you are in filmmaking, some people be spending crazy amounts of $10,000 on a lens. All right, and a camera, you want to get an Arri camera or a Red, you're spending upwards of $100,000 depending after you build that package. For animation, you need to make sure that the hand, you want some of that hand action going. And $800 for getting into that is definitely great, right? So with that $800 price, that sounds like it's just awesome. Let's just all jump in, right? But there is some kind of things that in guidelines when it comes to that. That's $800, but that is just giving you access to streaming into Unreal or Unity. If you wanted to get more when it comes to integrations, right? You want to go into other things like the MVM, that's an XNs, or going into Motion Builder. You probably want to start stepping things up. They have something for that too. They built up basically, it's almost like you buying in like licenses. So you can buy more licenses, like let me get into a motion builder or let me get into the MVN and have a license so you can pay for that. And then now you can be able to move this into that realm where you can try to go through and get hand animations or whatever software you're using. All right, $800 off the back, to me, way better than $7,000. Cool, but we're gonna continue. All right. They do have the third glove, which is the Pro Studio glove. This is just the studio glove, and if I'm not, hopefully I'm not mistaken, but I think it's the same glove. This is the same glove. One of them costs the Pro Studio is $2,745. All right, this is $800, and it's the same glove, but it comes with all of those integrations. So when it comes to the MVN and the whole workflow, that it has a lot more that it's coming with. As far as the glove, same glove. Now we're going over price points. What does the things come with? And I'm just going to kind of let you know. The Pro Fidelities, this is the top of the line. They come with two dongles. Two dongles, you put those in the computer, boom, they recognize for each glove. That's awesome. I was using them, love them, still great. For the studio gloves, you get one dongle. One dongle recognizes both gloves. At first, I was like, one? Okay, I'm probably missing something, right? But this is actually better because how many ports do you have on your computer? How many do you want to really just utilize, right? Two, that's great. Felt good. But with the one, they can recognize both gloves. You're saving a port, and it still gets the job done. All right. So going into that, now we're gonna say, how do they feel, right? So, I want to see how this thing feel on me, right? I'm gonna put this glove on. That right there is on. When it comes to putting on the Pro Fidelities, you definitely have a little bit more work. You can see I'm trying to do this. We got the little zipper. Let's zip this bad boy on. So, and then you kind of do your move it to your fingers before you start your calibrating process. So I got both of these gloves on. One thing I'll say is when it comes to the studio glove, they kind of got that little bit of the rest, like your hand kind of curl a little bit. And that's probably due to the build, and this is not necessarily a negative thing. Here you're a little bit more loose, just kind of more fluid. But they both feel good. And honestly, after wearing these and doing a shoot, I like how the studio gloves feel a little bit better. You got all your fingers. You can still like, go over there and tap on the keyboard, and you can do that here too. I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying, just wearing them both, this actually is more comfortable, especially because the wrist part is cut off, right? So you can get more wrist movement, and here you have all of that. So you know what I mean. When you're wearing these gloves and you place a sensor on here, and I'm using the XNs because I have the window starter. See, you hear that? So not like this is a bad thing, but depending on what you're doing, you have that there. All right, so you can still move this thing around. I'm not saying that you can't, but more than likely, you're going to put it there. I think that's what that's for. Here, oh damn, when it comes to the studio gloves, we don't have access. How do we put our tracker thing down? We're going to put our sensor down. They come with these little tool pieces. This is cool. At first I saw it, I was like, snaps in place. Done. No clickety clacks, and it's on. So to me, I definitely like. I kind of been growing on me the feel of these gloves over this, and I know these are $7,000 gloves and these are $800 gloves, but this just feels a little bit better on my hands at the moment. All right, after within time, and don't get me wrong, these feel great too. I'm just giving y'all my opinions, my thoughts. So let's go in a little bit more. All right, so now we did that. We talked about how they feel. We talked about what they cost. Is it good though, right? Do we get some of that goodness? And I'm going to say, as far as the Pro Fidelity gloves, these things are awesome, right? You're going to get, that's top of the line. They better be for $7,000. That's top of the line. That's goodness. When it comes to the studio gloves, how is everything, right? So let's talk about calibrating. When it comes to the Pro Fidelities, I think they have the hand engine. I think it's like the 2.2. And to me, this is one of the things that is like, I was on set and you're just trying to calibrate this glove, and you want to go into like performance calibration, you want to really dial it in. You're going to be there for about a couple of minutes per hand because you're going to be rotating, you're going to be holding these different poses, and you can just continuously train your glove to be more precise, which is awesome. Now, if you're taking a lot of time doing it, you're going to start feeling like, oh, I need to hurry to get done. And I'm not saying that it's a bad thing, but it definitely takes time. Here, with the studio gloves, they have the hand engine light. When it comes to the Pro Studio, they have the hand engine Pro, and that's hand engine 3.0. All right, so hand engine 3.0. I'm over messing up the words. But that calibration is quick. I did a video on that. Y'all can check that one out as well. It's quick. And when you're done, it's accurate. You good. You can go in there and just get that done. Go over there and start your creating. So now that we know the calibration process, and I'm not saying that Pro Fidelity is bad, it's just that if you want it really accurate, they give you that option to just really continuously training your gloves. When it comes to the studio gloves, you just have that basic calibration, but that's all you need. Because does it work? That's what we want to know. Do it work? Because ultimately it don't matter if this takes 10 minutes if it's accurate and you getting all your shit right, and this takes 30 seconds but it's crap. Doesn't matter, right? I'm going to tell you from both gloves, these both give you good calibration. They give you good tracking data when you really going in there and making it happen. I went in and I was a little skeptical because you have the fingers out, right? So you know your fingers are out. So I was like, is it going to pick up on all of those little bits? And you know what? Putting it in there to an animation, it did. It looked amazing. It was wonderful. it worked. It worked well. I would put it up there with the Pro Fidelity gloves as far as tracking. And now, when I'm saying put it up there with the Pro Fidelities, I'm saying in Pro Fidelity you have different calibration things. They got the express calibration, which is fairly quick. That's a quick calibration. You do 3 to 4 steps, and you're done, right? With that hand express calibration, not going into extra training, this glove these are to me somewhat the same. You get the same type of fidelity. You can see all the same tracking. $7,000, you can go in there and train it more though, right? So you got that. Here, what are you using this for? I did a video called, what was it? This little quick scene, right? But it's basically using this studio glove, and I kind of made a little skit with it, right? And it's called Clearing the Room. That's basically is already out. That came in. That's all coming into the raw things. Now we're gonna get into a negative though. What was the negative about this glove, right? When it comes to it, I'm like, it got to be something. It ain't like everything he gonna say is good. Basically, when I was calibrating the glove, I noticed that the thumbs, and now this is a problem I think with all motion capture gloves. The thumbs always a little different. You got to watch them, right? Because they sometimes drift, they'll turn, bend, or whatever. They won't fold. It'll be a bunch of stuff. You'll see these characters, and they'll be fingers is great, but then the thumbs look kind of like they're weird. They're not in place. I'm not gonna say this is no exception because it definitely was well. But as far as this bend, I don't know if y'all could see that. I don't even know the name of this thing. This part of your thumb, but the upper part, the part that's sticking out, right? So when you close your hands, and I see it, sometimes depending on how you calibrate it, you don't get that fold. It might just close like this. Now it's not on like both gloves or a specific one. I calibrated it again. I did the whole process, and then it was good. But then I did it again, and then it was bad. And it's not bad where it's unusable animation, but it is something to recognize. Because I was thinking with my fingertips sticking out like this that it wasn't going to pick up like these folds, the small folds on the top, and it did. It grabbed it well. But I did see that with the thumbs. So when I brought it into like my workflow is I film everything. Well, getting behind the scenes, but I'll go through and I'll capture all my motion capture data, and then I'll take that FBX file into iClone. And when I take it into iClone, I'll go through and do cleanup. When it comes to cleanup, everybody's going to do some type of cleanup because your character or your model that you're working on is definitely not the same as whoever was the talent wearing the suit or wearing gloves, and then you got to do a little cleanup. Those things can be a little off depending on calibration. That's not just calibration of the hand of the gloves. That can be calibration of, for instance, like my Windows starter, and I'm taking things in Xsense and Movello. So I noticed that the thumb was a little turned. So we say the thumbnail was like on this side, so the finger was turned. Now that could have been user error on my part, but I noticed that I had to clean that up. And I did a couple of calibrations and a couple of tests, and I still noticed that as well. So something small and simple that you probably won't notice. But let's say if you're getting close up and you're zooming in on this animation shot and you want to really see the hand, if your thumb is a little twisted, people probably ain't gonna recognize it, but if you're nitpicky, you can see it. So that was one thing I did notice about this glove. But other than that, everything came in flowing. It definitely was higher than all my expectations, and I'm definitely liking this glove. So overall, when it comes to a comparison of these two gloves, if you have a studio that you are in and you can afford to get the Pro Fidelities, I'll definitely say go in there and get them Pro Fidelities if that's what you can do. You like spending money, go in there and spend that money, right? But it could, because you know you can do extra training with this glove as far as animation and being able to get your hands and finger animation better. But if you're a small indie, or even if you're just getting into it and you want to be able to have some kind of groundbreaking thing, Stretchsense has definitely been looking out for us, and they created this studio glove, and I would recommend it. I would definitely say get out there and make things happen, and have some fun with this. But overall, both are great gloves. I definitely enjoy them both. ultimately I will use the studios probably a lot more than I would use the Pro Fidelities. And I'm saying this like, you know what I mean? I would want to jump on it because of the price. You're like, yeah, I'm gonna use these ones because it's $7,000 and I can train this thing. But I'm doing things fast where I need to just get my stuff on. I don't got enough time. I got, wife and kids. I got I got a 9 to 5. I got my business. I got to build this up. I'm trying to get things on social media. So you want to get your Instagram and your YouTube. If you're trying to do all of that stuff, you want to be able to put on some things, get things going, and get out there and push. You know what I mean? Don't let hiccups or things take too much time. These studio gloves are definitely that. They work great. You can put them on. You can kind of calibrate them real fast. You can get back in the field. And you can make all your good things happening. So overall, both of them great gloves. I definitely recommend either or. You know what I mean? Depending on your price point and what you're looking at. So, like I said, this is just a small comparison. I know I've probably been talking for a while. Y'all got to hear my voice. You got to see my face. And you know what I mean? Who knows? You know what I mean? We're going to make some new things. But I will say thanks for tuning in. And get out there and keep creating. Talk to y'all later.